welcome. Perfect timing. The rooster. I'm in Bali, Indonesia. We got here 2 days ago. This is our second day here. We just got on a plane. Just decided we needed to go somewhere and get a change of pace and change sort of our environment and go learn about something cool. So we worked hard for a few days and made some money and got on a plane, and here we are in Indonesia. We're just living, and it's so beautiful, man. Obviously, the country is beautiful, but it's a beautiful thing to just be able to live life on your own terms and have that sovereignty, like to be free, like to be free within yourself, free from fear, anxiety, and stress, and just allow the flow of the universe to become a part of who you are and what you stand for, and have this unworldly trust in something cosmic, something so much more than what we are, yet we're connected to it. And you have like just the utmost faith and trust in this thing that you just understand and know within you. It's a knowing. It's just incredible. That is something that I have come to appreciate more in this last 2 weeks than anything. Because to be honest with you, like we didn't even have the money to come on this trip. I had the money for the plane tickets. I paid like 4 grand or 5 grand with the visas or something like that for the plane tickets, and we didn't have any money for the trip. But I knew everything was going to be okay. I was experimenting with manifestation because I've had small doses of it over the course of my 2.5 years since my spiritual awakening and falling into a trust in something else. But this was the first one where, I had, I think, a lot more that I was trying to manifest. Because I don't really ask for anything when I'm trying to manifest things. The only thing I really look to is for love for the whole world. And even if I can like just put that into the universe, that's the only thing I really like want for anyone or anything. Materialism and things like that aren't for me. But this trip was about coming here to learn about people in places with nothing, because in the West we have this attraction to materialism, and we have this attachment to materialism because we believe that it's buying things and having things makes us happy. But yet the pharmaceutical company steps in quietly behind closed doors and medicates us with depression medication, anxiety medication, this idea that we've been sold on that it'll make you happy. It just doesn't. So I know over here people have much less, but they still have a sense of happiness, and they display emotions in such a wonderful way through community. That's a big one. They like there's a community here. They sing, they dance. There's this connection with something more than materialism because they don't have it, or have the ability to have it, or have the attraction or attachment to have it, which is really beautiful and incredible. So I'm really grateful that I'm here and I'm able to be able to learn that. And yeah, through my manifestation of that money, it all worked out. It all worked out. And I kept telling my girl, because she knew that we didn't have the money either. And she was kind of like asking me, we're getting close. We're getting close to having to leave. But I told her, just believe, baby. You believe. We don't put bad things in the world. By bad things, I mean manifest bad thoughts that things aren't going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. And I knew that, and I believed it. And I believed it in my heart. I was actively trying to make moves behind closed doors for jobs to open up for us. And I had a line on one job, but it didn't look like it was going to work out. And then, the universe just moved, and it opened up, and it worked out, and it was a beautiful thing because I saw it. It was one of those things that you see when you put this faith and this trust into something more than yourself, that when it works out for you, you just have this deep appreciation and gratitude for something more, and it's not like I take anything I get in my life for granted, because I don't do that. I did that for a long period in my life, and that's just because I was taught to do that, or I taught myself how to do that. And I think a lot of us do that. We take a lot of things for granted, and it's when we detach and we look at things for the gratitude that's involved within it, like the things that happen for us. It's so much more, and it gives you a connection to something so much more as well. So it's amazing. It's quite beautiful. So yeah, I was really fortunate to have that experience happen to me before I came on this experience, which is really cool. And I share that because I want you to know it's so real. Like you can manifest anything you want in life, because if you believe it bad enough, it's going to happen for you. It doesn't matter what you want or what you want to do with yourself or what you want to become, you can do anything in this life if you believe. And there's so much power in that, but we give our power away so quickly by having self-doubt or just, creating anxiety through hypotheticals and assumptions of scenarios that we just manifest within ourselves, right? That haven't even come true yet, but we make them come true because we put so much energy into thinking about them. So when you believe in something and you go inside your heart, right, and you get outside your mind and you stay in here, things can happen. And it's a beautiful thing to take that power back within yourself and to have that power connected to something else. And I want you to know that, and I want you to practice that, because it's something that with time and practice you get better at it. You just really put your trust and faith into something else. If you're asking me what should I put that into, put it into your heart. Take it out of your mind and put it into your heart. Take all the positivity and put it into your heart and let your heart speak in your mind. That's a beautiful piece of information. A lot of people, we just stay up in our mind. We get caught up in there, and we forget that the heart has a mind of its own. We should be really grateful to have that. But we don't really think from our heart so often because our mind is so chaotic and it's confusing. And we don't take time to slow down and think about the things that are good for ourselves. That is what self-care is. Self-care is something I've come to understand as being the protection of self-love. They're one and the same. They go together. That's why people always say self-care, self-love, right? It's just the external application that most people do with self-love and self-care is just that. It's for an external application, such as getting their hair done or going to a fancy restaurant and spending money and having a dinner, or external ideas of what it means to have self-love and self-care don't really do anything for the inside, where everything matters, right? So that's what we're going to kind of talk about, is what we can do through self-care and self-love to help grow further into a self-love. And one of the ways that has really worked well for me is understanding the power within taking out the negativity of my life. And by taking out the negativity, I mean like creating boundaries in my life. Like, negative thoughts create negative actions. So in order to care for myself, I want to protect the love that I have within. I remove those from my life. If people aren't, fitting that certain philosophy of moving in the same direction that I am in an evolution of love, then I've got to appreciate and understand that they're on their own journey. And it's not selfish of me to move away from those individuals that I may have called friends or I may have been associated with. Because for me, I'm on my own journey as well. And to protect myself, to grow into this evolution of love, I've got to care for myself. And to do that, I've got to create boundaries. And I've got to remove individuals, people, places, or things that don't support that evolution of love. And that's really important. That removes the external application of things to help you grow within yourself. Now, will you find a period of loneliness? Quite possibly. Yeah. I won't lie to you. When you start to become somebody new, a lot of the things and a lot of the people and a lot of the places that you used to go to, they change. They go away because it just doesn't support who you are in the present moment and where you want to go. And that's a reality. So a lot of the times people try to change, but they go back to the way things were because they are comfortable with those things, even though they're not good for their growth or their evolution into love. And it isn't really, good for them. It's just something they know. So that's why a lot of people go back the way things were. But if you're serious about evolving into something new, then you've got to take time for yourself. And you've got to appreciate that time. And where it feels lonely, look at it from a different way and give yourself credit and be proud of yourself for being comfortable with being alone and getting to know yourself. Because that's really important. When you start to remove all the negative attributes that are affecting you and you're alone with yourself, you get to create your own being. You get to understand yourself from within, which is really beautiful. I mean, that's an amazing thing, to be able to sit alone with yourself and say, who am I? Like, what do I stand for? A lot of people don't know what to do when they're alone because they've spent so much time distracting with, television, social media, hanging out with people that don't support the evolution into love, whatever it may be. But if you're really taking time for self-care means spending time with yourself and getting to know yourself and healing. Like, that's a huge part of self-care. It is pulling up things that don't support the evolution of love, looking at them for what they are, and being okay with learning from those mistakes and saying, hey, I'm going to grow past this because I'm not that person today. And really look at yourself for who you want to be in that moment. Do you want to be honest? Do you like when you tell people things that aren't true? How many of us pretend? I mean, pretending is just the most detrimental thing we can do to ourselves, to this evolution of love, right? So when you're alone with yourself, you get to recreate yourself and give yourself credit for that, because it's a beautiful thing to be in a place and time when you're ready and willing to do that. And it's okay to do that. That is, again, what self-care and self-love is all about. It's understanding that you are an amazing human being. Really. I mean, it's crazy that even when I say that, it's like, why does that sound weird? Like, why does that sound weird? To look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, I'm an amazing human being. I'm great. I love myself. We got to make that normal. And you know what? To be honest with you, along my evolution, I have made that normal. I have given myself so much love for all the achievements I have made in my life. Like, I give myself positive affirmations when I do something that is great. I'll give you an example. Like, I'm in Bali, Indonesia, and there's, bars, clubs, all these kind of things going on, cheap cigarettes. I quit drinking like January 17th last year, and I quit smoking on the 16th. And I made a deal with myself. I'd never been free from any substance for a year. Alcohol and cigarettes and marijuana and these kind of things, it's, something that was working for me until it wasn't. And I knew that a year ago that it wasn't. So I'd stopped. But, I'm here. But I don't actually feel like I want to do any of those things, because I know they don't support my evolution into love, because I'm a student of life. I work on myself a lot. I give it a lot of value. I give it a lot of attention, because it's something I value immensely. And I would encourage you to do that on your own terms as well. But by being here, I very quickly, realized, looking around, like, I'm so grateful that none of that is for me. And I give myself a lot of credit for that, because I worked on myself a lot. I am very proud of myself for becoming somebody new. And that's what this evolution of love looks like. Like, that's what self-care and self-love is all about. Like, I've worked on myself enough, and I've cared for myself enough to create boundaries that, even though I'm in a place that would support those other old life ideas, with every open door opportunity, I have shut those doors that don't support the evolution of love. And it's a beautiful thing. And because it's something I practice, self-care and self-love, being alone with yourself and getting to know who you are and processing emotions, it's a practice. It doesn't all happen in one night. And many of us, will put effort in, just like we go to the gym, right? We'll go to the gym for 3 or 4 days and then give up. But you can't give up when you're working on yourself, because I can tell you the results are freaking priceless, man. Like, they're priceless, because you're becoming somebody new. And when you start to see the results of these effects, it's like, oh, yeah, I give myself goosebumps right now. Because I think about all the things I have gone through over the last 2.5 years. I'm not special. I'm not unique. This is how you do it. You do it by being alone with yourself and pulling up things that don't support who you want to be. You don't do things for other people. That's what self-care is, man. Self-care is you look at the things you want to do for you, and you protect that. And you get good at it. And you start looking at the world as energy that is either going to support your evolution of love or going to take your power away. Because by moving through to an evolution of love, you take your power back. This is what we're doing. Like, you're rewiring yourself, but you're teaching yourself to take back the power in your life that is going to set you free. And you will practice this for a lifetime. I believe this. But it gets easier because you start to realize that you can detach from all the things that don't support that, such as myself. I stopped drinking, smoking cigarettes, marijuana and psilocybin didn't work for me anymore. That's why I let that go. I advocate for it heavily, though, for some individuals that need those medicines. Absolutely. I'm a plant medicine guy through and through. But for me, on my own personal journey, it didn't really support the evolution anymore. So I let it go. I removed caffeine. I removed sugar because they didn't support the evolution of love that I was looking for because it took up mental space in my mind. I remember like I would have donuts or like a brownie, but then I would think about sugar and think about sugar and think about sugar. But I became aware of it. And I was like, you know what? Why am I doing that? Like, why does this sugar effect have any hold over me, any power over me? It was taking my power, so I moved it. And I was very aware and conscious of that because you become very clear. And that's a really beautiful thing to look forward to in your life is becoming clear. You know, everyone is on their own journey and everyone can do as they like. And they're going to get to the destination of love however they're going to get there. But take a look at alcohol in your life and what it does for you. I mean, if you're using or drinking alcohol as a reward for having to work a work week for 5 or 6 days, evaluate that. Observe yourself. Observe the things you do and why you do them. And that can help you. It'll help you grow into a person that you want to be because you'll start questioning things. You don't just do things because, oh, hey, it's the weekend, let's go drinking. Why do we do that? Like, why do we even do that? It's the most ridiculous thing to think that we work our work week to go get drunk and wake up with hangovers. Really what we're doing is distracting ourselves from not loving our life and not loving ourselves, because when you love yourself, you wouldn't do that kind of stuff. You just wouldn't. It just goes away because you have this love that is so much more powerful than any of that. You start to see those things as depressants. Or for myself, I viewed them as low vibrational frequencies that would throw me in a lower state. So that was a big part of how I move things, because energy and vibrational frequencies is everything to me. And I became very aware and open to it. And I can feel things very deeply because I've worked on myself. And when you start to feel energy and vibrational frequencies in certain things or people, or even places, you're able to make a conscious decision of what you want in life. So you can be attracted to those low vibrational frequencies or those negative aspects, or you can take the positive route and move away from them. That self-care is knowing like what is good for me. Like what for me personally is what's good for Justin, right? Where am I going in life? I know where I'm going and I know what I want to do. I want to raise the consciousness of love within the entire human race. That's my purpose. That's my life. I've given my life to it. I'm just getting started, but it's something that I know with conviction that I 100% am going to achieve in the manner that I achieve it in. But that's my purpose. That's what I'm here to do. So anything that doesn't support that evolution, it's got to go. And it took me 2.5 years to get to this place. So it doesn't happen overnight. But anything you practice, you get good at. I will also say, I was very fortunate to have the girl that I'm with in my life. She met me 4 months out of jail, and I never told her that I was fresh out of jail or, a drug addict for 23 years right away. Because, I mean, like, how do you walk up to someone and be like, oh, hey, I'm Justin, just got to jail. I was heroin addict for 23 years, homeless just, 4 months ago, but you want to have a chat? You want to go skateboarding together? It doesn't happen like that. So, I'm very fortunate that over a period of time we were able to share a lot about each other, and more so that she offered me a lot of wisdom along my way. She's very pure. She's a gift to me in my life, and I'm very, very grateful for her because she's never changed from the moment we've met. Myself, I had 23 years of bad behaviors that I had practiced for quite some time that became normal to me. Now, I wasn't doing drugs and things like that, but some of my psychological behaviors that I had become acceptable over the course of my period of drug addiction just weren't who I want to be. And she never told me what to do or how to be. She never ever did that, but she certainly was very good at questioning me on what I wanted. And we've been together almost 2 years, and I'm very grateful for her because those 2 years for her were, a bit of a roller coaster. I won't lie. They weren't easy, but she's an amazing human being for being a part of my journey because, her wisdom helped me evolve at a very rapid pace. And I was receptive to be open to an individual like that. Even though I was 4 months out of jail, it was a gift from the universe. But I was receptive to be open to her and what she stood for and what she was, because I could feel the energy within her. The wisdom that was shared with me of who I wanted to be and where I was going to go and what I was going to do and what did that look like for me was a gift, because it gave me perspective into looking at myself and being able to change some things that I didn't like about myself. And that is, that's amazing. Like that's a wonderful thing. And that's why I do this podcast, is to offer you perspective into ways to look at your life that you can apply things that you want to evolve into however you want to evolve. And I'm grateful for that, because I had that in my life as well. I only speak from experience, right? But it was me who made the changes. I didn't do anything in my life for her. All the changes that I made in my life, I made for me, because I knew it wasn't who I wanted to be. Because if I was changing for her, well, the next time we got in an argument or, we took time apart, what does that mean for me? I'm just going to go back to the way I was? I'd done that for 23 years, so I was very well versed in doing things for other people, but I had made a choice that I was going to do things for myself, because that's what self-love and self-care is. You protect yourself. You evolve into the person you want to be on your terms. Where she offered me perspective into the things that I needed to observe within myself, because they didn't really, I wasn't being honest with the person I was saying I was. I changed for me, and I put a lot of work into that. And really, my evolution has really taken off in the last 9 months. For me, it was something that I wanted so bad. Like I really wanted to be the man that I knew I wanted to be. And I wanted to get there, and I didn't want nothing to get in my way, because I value that so much. And I'm here and I'm living it, and I'm in the results of all the work that I've put in, and it's beautiful. But is it over? It's not over, because I don't want it to be over. I want to keep evolving. I'm a student of life. Where I want to go is the end. I just want to go to the end, and I want to learn the whole way there, and I want to experience things the whole way there, and I want to try new things, and I want to be with cool people, and I want to learn about people and learn about love in as many places as I possibly can. And when it ends, and I'm cool with it, and I'll be able to look back on myself and on my life, and I will be very grateful for everything, because I'll put work in to a life that I wanted to live. Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's poetic in a sense, because it's all you, man. Like, it's all you. It's just you and your power, and being there with this experience and ability to be able to do the things you want to do, and to be able to show yourself you can do it. Like, if you just believe. So many people say to me, how did you quit using drugs after 23 years? You know what? I made a choice. I had that love come inside of my heart, because I spoke those words and I asked love into my heart, and it came in my heart. And we were having a conversation about this the other day. I don't know if love came into my heart. I think that I opened my heart up is what happened. But I spoke some very beautiful words. You can listen to that in the previous podcast, because I'm going to do a podcast about spirituality and really what that all meant to me, and how that looked in my life, because there's a whole lot more to speaking some words that I want to talk about that is very beautiful. And yes, I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger. If you haven't heard the other podcasts, it'll hopefully guide you to listen to those episodes, because it's a really special moment, and it has so much power in it. Everything is about power. Everything is about energy and power, but not the power that we've been led to believe that we should try to achieve. This greed, this lust, this evil sort of power, right? Like, of course, with dark, there's light, absolutely. But the power of light is just incredible. It'll have you be able to become and do anything you want to do, and it begins with self-care and self-love, and the ability to remove people that don't support your evolution into love. And is it something difficult that you'll have to do on your own? It's as difficult as you make it, to be honest with you. And I can promise you, once you're ready to go on this evolution and you take time for yourself and you're ready to grow, you'll have someone else with you, and you will start to see things for what they are, and grow and just become somebody new. And I really, man, I'm so grateful for everyone who listens to this and all the wonderful things that people say to me. And it's just really beautiful to be able to share something that's in my heart, and like have other people be receptive to these ideas that I have and experiences that I've had in my life, and then apply them in their own life, because I'm here for you. Like, I'm here for everyone. I'm for the people. I'm 100% for the people. I'm here for the kids. like 100% for the kids because they are our future. But if I can be a guide to heal us along the way, that's going to be a beautiful thing because we're going to work together then and really create a new earth on this planet at this time. And it's going to be incredible. But in order to get there, we've got to heal ourselves first. So please take time for self-care and self-love and get to know yourself and understand that, you know, moving things out of your life that don't support your evolution into love is a requirement in life, and value that, and you will find just how priceless it is. I'll be doing these podcasts from cool little places wherever I am. I'm in this little cottage right now, but I love it. It's cool because this is a part of me, and there's obviously birds and everything around me, but it's really cool because this is a part of me. Like this is who I am. It's what I stand for. And to be able to get information out to people wherever I am in the world is such a gift because it's where I'm going in my life and it's what I'm doing. So I'm very grateful for all of you for listening to this, and I'm even more grateful for anyone who is applying the information in whatever way they see fit for their evolution. Just being open to listen to perspective and hear new ideas and break free from a programmed way of life where we just say things that we don't mean and do things we don't want to do. Like I just really value you for that because I would really hope you value yourself for that because that's priceless. When you start living for yourself and doing things on your own, like really, I know I say that a lot, but I just really want you to understand like that freedom that you are coming into and the positive affirmations you need to give yourself. Next week, we're going to talk about pretending. I had some other things lined up that I want to talk about, but I believe like this podcast about pretending is something we need to have because I want us to become really aware of the ways we pretend, and being on this side of the world, it's taught me many things about some associations that Western world has with the Eastern world because we're human beings, a part of the human race living on planet Earth. We're not different from each other anywhere in the world, and I want to talk about that. I think it's a great time to have these conversations because I'm over here and I'm seeing it and I love to share about this kind of thing. But pretending is a big one because, you know, when we try to be somebody we're not and do things we don't want to do, this changes who we are, and that's a big part of what I want to bring in awareness to, because being yourself and being who you are is everything in life. That's the gift of life. It's your uniqueness that allows your gift to be shared with the world, and I really want us to embrace that and people to do away with fear, anxiety, and stress of being themselves. So we'll talk about that next week. My social media, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram is Real Talk for an Unreal World. My Twitter is Real Talk, the number 4 Unreal. And my email, the most important thing, is realtalkforanunrealworld@gmail.com. Please, if you are on an evolution of love, if you have questions, sometimes I don't cover everything I should in these podcasts, and people have, you know, other perspectives or other ideas or other situations or experiences that they're facing in their life that I didn't cover, email me. Like, I'll offer you perspective. I have time. I share my time with anyone who is trying to grow into an evolution of love. Because for me, it's every single human being. I'm here for you. You know what I mean? And I'll help however I can. You got to do the work. But I can definitely offer you perspective in certain situations. And as long as you're taking steps to evolve, I'll be there for the ride as well. So much love. Much love always, man. Like, it's just, I really appreciate everyone and everything. And I'll be honest with you, I appreciate myself. Because I'm doing this, I'm here, I've made it this far, and I'm really happy with where I'm at. And if you could take one thing from this podcast, please grow into this place that you can be happy with where you're at as well. And just love that. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm a little sick as well. That's why I'm sniffing and stuff. So I'll see you guys next week. Much love.